Hello guys, welcome to Life Pro. My name is Manu. Yeah, and so welcome to day 17 of 100 daily videos. Yes, and so welcome. And today, I think actually during this period of 100 daily videos, I'm also reintroducing myself, to people who only knew Manu as a content creator, as a spoken wordist. People who never knew that I'm a dancer, I do all those things. Yes, and so I'm like reintroducing myself. And so today I'm actually going to be talking about how I actually started doing spoken word. For those who don't know, I do spoken word poetry. And I'll actually like to share that story today. And so I actually started spoken word 5 years ago. Actually not 5, that is in 2015. That should be like 6 years ago. That's when I started spoken word. And 6 years ago I was in Form 4. Before that, I think I've actually shared this a lot of times. I've told you guys that my dad is a pastor, he's a missionary, and he does everything. And so back in 2000 and since 2005, actually since 2003 there, my dad was a senior pastor of Deliverance Church, but now Deliverance Church Bahati. There's a place in Nakuru called Bahati Mailikumi. And so he was a pastor there. He was the senior pastor there, Deliverance Bahati. And we used to go there. My dad, my mom, I think I was like 7 years old or something, and my sister, my younger sister. And so I remember every Sunday, as my dad is actually leaving to go to church, he would always carry me. We will go together with him. Anytime we are going for crusades, crusades, conferences, services, when he's going to preach, someone will always carry this small kid. And so we will go together with him. And anytime before he started preaching, he would always call me in front there to just go and share a memory verse. I remember I used to share Psalms 23, Matthew chapter 5, or like Proverbs 3 verse 1. I would always do memory verses. And that's how I used to do at that age. And so I did that. And I remember I actually wanted to become a pastor since I was young. And so I grew up at around Form 2, Form 3. Actually Form 3, I started rapping. Like, yo. I started rapping. And so when I started rapping, I went to my dad and I told my dad, hey dad, I think I now know my talent. And so he was like, so what's your talent? I told him I want to become a rapper. And so I started rapping to him. Okay, like something like that. And so I rapped and he was like, Emmanuel, I don't think you should actually be rapping. Like, I think there is that, okay, I'm not blaming him or blaming our parents or anything, but there is a way rap has actually been, like, people have made rap to look as if it's actually not Christian or it's actually not good. Yes, and so he actually told me, no, I don't want to hear you rapping. And so at first I was like, my dad even doesn't support my talent. So I felt bad, but now, those lines, they are still flowing. And so I was still writing the raps. The rap, I was still writing it down. But now, instead of rapping it, I started now reading it as it is. Like if I've written something, instead of rapping it, I'll just read it. And so I remember in Form 4, there's a guy called Pitstar. Pitstar Poet, big up to you. This Pitstar guy came to our school as a motivational speaker. He came and he talked to us, he motivated us, and he encouraged us a lot. And so after the motivation, he actually did a spoken word. And I was like, what? I think that's what I want to do. Like, it touched me a lot. And I went, after the session, I went aside, saw him and talked to him and told him, and so what is that you did? And so he explained to us that it's called spoken word, it's poetry, this is how you do it. And I loved it. And so I went back home and so some days later now, the rap which I had written, instead of rapping, I was now speaking it. I started now memorizing it. And so I memorized a whole written rap, And so one day we had this team from Citizen TV, Kubamba. These guys, Akina Timeless Noel, Kambua, there was DJ Moz. They used to go to high schools. This is back in 2015. They used to go to high schools, and so they came to our high school. I was in Mene, Menengai High School. And so they came to our high school on a Saturday. And so the Saturday, they're supposed to come on Sunday for the service, and it's actually going to be live on national TV, on Citizen TV. And so on Saturday, I was there. During the week, we were actually told, anyone who has a talent, ensure you just go and register. And so nobody knew that I was a rapper. But that week, I just challenged myself and I went in front of the class and I actually told people I have a spoken word I would actually like to do. And so if you don't mind, would you like to listen to my spoken word? And so I did the spoken word in front of the class. And so after doing the spoken word, people clapped and everything. And then I went and sat down. And so where I'm actually sitting, like we are sitting 1, 2, 3, 4, like around 6 people. We are seated together. The people that we will actually discuss together with, do revisions and everything, read together. And so we were seated, the 6 of us. And so the person who was actually seated next to me was a Muslim, Salim Mohammed. Salim, big up to you. And so Salim challenged me and he told me like, Manu, you should actually go register for this thing. Like the way you did that spoken word is actually nice, and so just go and do this thing. And so for me, I was like, no, I've never done spoken word anywhere. I don't know how to do spoken word. I don't know anything. But Salim was like, you don't know if this is what God is calling you to. And so just go and represent God in that spoken word of yours. And so the thing that actually challenged me the most was the fact that I'm actually doing Christian spoken word, and then here is a Muslim challenging me to go do the spoken word, and I don't want to go do it. And so I felt challenged. And so because of Salim, I went for the rehearsals on that Saturday. And so I went for the rehearsals and I did the rehearsals and I failed. I went there and I forgot everything. And so Kinanani, we were being interviewed by this guy. Timeless Noel was actually interviewing us. And so I did the rehearsals and it failed. Like I forgot everything. And so he told me, young man, see, that spoken word of yours is actually so nice. So I want you to do this. I'm actually going to give you one last chance. Go home, rehearse, and then come back tomorrow early in the morning having memorized the whole spoken word. And so once you do that, I'll listen to it again, and if you are good, then you'll go to TV. And so I said, okay. And so I went back home, and that night I think I never slept. After having supper, I was actually, I remember it so well. I remember I was actually on my bed because I've never performed anywhere. I went, stood on my bed. This is at night, everyone is asleep. I stood on my bed. I rehearsed the whole spoken word, like almost 2 to 3 hours, just doing the spoken word again and again. And so I'm on top of my bed, just looking at the walls. I'm assuming now the walls is just an audience looking at me. And so I did the whole spoken word there, and but after some 2 hours, I was okay, and I slept. I woke up in the morning and did the same. I rehearsed again on top of the bed, and then I was okay. I left and I went to school now Sunday morning. Early morning I went and I saw Timeless and I was like, Timeless, I'm ready with my spoken word. And so he asked me to do it. And so they were now together with Kambua, you know Kambua. And so I did it before them, and it was perfect. I did the whole of it well. And so they were like, oh wow, nice, then you'll be on stage. And so they wrote down my name. And so in short, what I'm actually trying to say, my first performance was the one I did in class in front of my classmate. But then my first serious performance was on Citizen TV. That was the first time I ever did a spoken word. And so I did it there, and it was nice. And since that time, I now started taking spoken word seriously. I started doing it in the CU. I started doing it back in church where I fellowship. I'll do it in church. I started writing more spoken words. And that is how, after Form 4, we actually met with Fred. And so in church, I'm doing spoken word and Fred is a rapper. That's how we met. We once did a collab of rap and spoken word, and that's how we actually met, and that's how Life Probe came to be. And so in short, that is actually my story of spoken word. It started as memory verses back in church together with my dad. Went to that spoken word whereby I was challenged by that Muslim, and here we are right now, having gone to actually, we have gone to several media stations, several places. So the first media station was Citizen TV. The next one we went to back in 2016, we went to KBC. Then we have also gone to, recently, like last week, and even the whole of this month, we are going to be on MBCI every Saturday. Remember, every Saturday from 6 to 7:30. Inside there, we have my spoken words running. We have been on MBCI, we have been on VBN TV, we have been on, have I gone to VBN? Okay, no. It's Citizen, KTN, MBCI, and I think that's it. And many more, and KBC, and many more. I know they'll come. And also, there's another one. I'm not going to tell you I'll not tell you that right now. But next week I'll be going to another one. I'll share that maybe sometime next week, maybe by Saturday or on Tuesday. I'll share that. And so that is where God has actually, God has brought me Matter Spoken Word, and we are still pushing. we are still pushing. Yes, and so thank you so much for the support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for always encouraging me, and I thank God for what He's doing even through this spoken word. As you remember, if you know manuscripts, my spoken word channel, we say God speaks and manuscripts. Whatever God speaks, that's what I actually script, and that's what I speak even through spoken word and also through videos. Yeah, and so thank you so much for watching this video. Day 17. Thank you. See you tomorrow, day 18. Yeah, bye bye.